Yes, I'm still here, Hollywood. And coming up on today's episode, there are TV villains and then there are TV icons. She didn't just stir the pot, she was the spoon. Cold, calculating, and perfectly coiffed. Her character rewrote the rules for what a woman could be on primetime television. But behind that icy stare was an actress who's worked with legends, stolen scenes in suspense thrillers, launched a skincare line, and redefined reinvention. All while balancing family, fame, and fierce fashion. From Clint Eastwood's obsession to Knots Landing royalty, this is Still Here Hollywood. I'm Steve Kmetko. Join me and today's guest, actor Donna Mills. If this is your first time watching or listening to Still Here Hollywood, what took you so long? Even if you're a longtime fan, I have a favor to ask. If you feel it in your heart, please like and follow us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Or if you watch on YouTube, please subscribe. And with both, it would be great if you rated and commented on your favorite episodes. Thank you so much. And now, on with the show. Hello, Donna.
Hello, Steve.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you, and thanks for coming in. I'm going to start off with the superficial stuff. Everybody always says, ask her how she stays so good looking, how, she doesn't seem to age. Do you have a secret?
No.
No?
No.
Nothing you'd like to share?
If I did, I would try to market it, for God's sake. But
because you look great.
Thank you. Thank you.
One of the things I'd like to ask you about is play Misty for me. Such an iconic role and movie.
Yeah.
The word iconic is overused these days, but in this case, it's true. What do you remember from making that?
Well, it was a thrill for me because I had just finished doing a soap opera in New York. So I literally finished the soap opera on Friday, started the movie on Monday. Came here to Los Angeles, took wardrobe on Saturday, and went up to Carmel, then started shooting the Monday. And I got the role in an odd way, too. I mean, I didn't audition for it. I didn't go after it, anything. They just called me up and they said, you got this movie with Clint Eastwood. And I went, what? How did I do that? He had run into Burt Reynolds in a bar one night and said, well, I've been looking for a girl for this movie to play my girlfriend. Can't find anybody I like. Burt said, I worked with this girl just last week because I'd come out from New York to do a guest shot on Dan August. He said, maybe you'd like her. And so he showed him the dailies. It hadn't even aired yet. He showed him the dailies and Clint said, that's the girl, and hired me right from that.
What do you remember about working with Clint? He's gone on to become so big.
Yeah. He knew exactly what he wanted.
Did he direct that movie?
Yes.
Oh,
that was his first directorial effort.
Oh.
And
Was he a good director? Must have been.
Yes. He brought it in under budget and under time in his first movie. That's highly unusual. But he knew exactly what he wanted. He hired the actors exactly because he knew they could do what he wanted. So there was not a lot of input from him when you were doing a scene or when anyone was doing a scene. They call action, they do the scene, and it was over. Very seldom did you do it more than once or twice. He just knew exactly what he wanted. And everything in that movie was like that. The montage sequence where we were in the pond together and stuff like that. He knew the music that he wanted for that. Everything. He was wonderful, and he was really nice.
Yeah, that's been my impression too, when I've encountered him.
Yeah.
I was at the Deauville Film Festival once when he was being honored there, and he walked past me in the reception line where the press was, and his wife said, you should go talk to Steve. He's a pretty good reporter. And so he came back, and he was very nice. It was he said, my wife says I should talk to you, so go ahead, ask your questions.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a nude scene in Play Misty for Me. I think the only one of your career.
I think it is, yeah.
Was that difficult to do?
Well, here's the rest of that story about him being nice. It wasn't in the script. So I got there, and he came to my dressing room one day, and he knocked on the door, and he said, we're going to do this montage. She said, well, really, it's not, well, let me tell you about it. It's, this, and we're on the floor of the forest, and in the pond, and everything, and we're naked. I went, oh, my parents are not going to like that. And he said, and he played me the music the first time ever I Saw Your Face, which is the most beautiful song. He played me the music. He said, I have a real vision for this, and it's going to be very beautiful and everything. He said, but if after we're done, I'll show it to you. And if you think it's at all lascivious or not nice or whatever, I won't put it in the film. And he did. And of course, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. The song is beautiful. The way he shot it is beautiful. And I had no problem with it at all. And but for him to make that gesture to me, because he knew I was a little uncomfortable about it, it really just shows you what a decent person he is.
Was that your first feature film?
Actually, second. The first one was one called, it was about a subway train. I can't remember what it was called now. With, a whole bunch of actors. We did it in New York and shot it on an actual subway train. And it was interesting. But that was the first one, and so Misty was the second one.
You worked on Broadway too, didn't you? Didn't you start as a dancer?
I was a dancer. That's how that is how I started. I was doing industrial shows and things like that. But the first play that I did on Broadway was Woody Allen's Don't Drink the Water. Mm-hmm. I understudied the lead girl in it, but my role in the show was the Sultan's wife. And I was in full, what do you call it, jihab or whatever you call those, and with a thing over my face, so all you ever saw were my eyes, and I had no lines.
No lines? No. Did I read also that you worked with Thelma Ritter?
She was in that.
Oh, she was?
Yeah. She was in the, I'm sorry, she was in the movie On the Train. Yeah.
Was she a character?
She was lovely. She was really just a lovely, lovely woman. All the little things that happened on the train kind of happened in their own time, so we didn't have anything together, any scene, so to speak, together, but it was, privilege just to be on the same set with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you still in touch with Clint? Do you ever run into him or see him anywhere?
I haven't seen him for a while. I would, run into him here and there, through the years, but I haven't seen him for a long time. Actually, we're going to try and get him for our podcast.
We'll get to that in a minute. What would you say to him if he were to walk in today?
I'd just give him a big hug and, tell him how much I value our time that we had together, because, it was a great time. And, to shoot your first movie in Carmel, people said to me, that's the location? Carmel? That's like the most beautiful place in the country. Yep, that's it.
Did you ever dream of this happening, this career you've had, when you were a young girl growing up in Chicago?
No. What I dreamed of was being a ballerina. That was all I wanted. From the time I was 5 years old. I started studying when I was 5. And that was all I wanted. I dreamed about, taking the roses and the bows and the whole thing.
And the toe shoes.
Yeah. I did the toe shoes. Yeah.
Those always look like they hurt.
They do. They do.
Do you still have your first acting headshot?
That's a good question. I think I may have it somewhere, yes.
Did you ever think your career would unfold the way it has?
No, but I wanted it to. I was ambitious. I am proud of that. I knew that I had to make certain moves. And like when I was doing the soap in New York, the reason I got to do the Dan August with Burt Reynolds was because I negotiated it into my contract that I would get nighttime guest shots out in L.A. because I knew I wanted to come out here. I knew I didn't want to stay in New York because at this point it was acting, not dance anymore. So I was making moves to try and make it happen, and that one worked out really well.
We'll be back for more in a moment. If you'd like to be more involved with us at Still Here Hollywood, you definitely can. Just visit patreon.com/stillherehollywood. You can support us for as little as $3 a month. You can get our episodes a day before they post anywhere else. You can see what guests will be coming up and submit questions for them. You can even tell us what stars you want us to have on as guests. You'll see what goes on before and after the episode, plus exclusive behind-the-scenes info, pics, video, and more. Again, that's patreon.com/stillherehollywood. What would you say to somebody who wants to get into the business today? It's changed a lot since you first got in.
Yeah, it has. I'm grateful to have had my heyday, so to speak, in the era that I did, because it was a wonderful era for actors. You had shows that had guest stars and things all the time, and there was a lot of work. It's harder now. But what I tell young actors that I know and come across is just, if you love acting, if you love doing it, if that really is your passion, then go for it. If you want to be a star, if that's your goal, don't. You'll probably be disappointed. You can't want to just be a star. You have to love the work.
Because otherwise it's a roll of the dice, really.
It's a roll of the dice, and it's hard. It's not, and people think, oh, it's so glamorous, blah, blah. Well, working 16-hour a day, that's not so glamorous, But people don't realize that. They say, you worked 16 hours? Really? I thought, you could only work 8. No. We do it all the time. We go to weird locations and do, you're out in the cold in a bathing suit and, all that kind of stuff.
Right. Have you ever used any Abby Ewing tactics in real life to get what you want?
Maybe not quite as extreme as her, but it's so funny. Before I came here today, we have this podcast now, so we're looking back at old shows and things like that, and I found a thing on my phone that had clips from Knots, and I almost didn't get here on time because I started watching the clips, and I got fascinated, and then pretty soon I looked up and an hour had gone by. I've been watching clips, little tiny clips of Knots Landing, but they got me. They got me fascinated, not because I was in them, just the storylines and the things that were going on. It was quite an amazingly good show.
You know what they call that when you start watching things? Scroliosis is what they call it now.
I know. It's dangerous.
I suffer from that too. What's the name of the podcast?
It's called We're Not, KNOT, Done Yet.
Clever. And who do you do it with?
I do it with Michele Lee and Joan Van Ark. Yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
Yes. I wasn't sure that I would, because it's a lot of work. You got to think up things to talk about, and I mean, we don't have a moderator, like you. We just chat. So we have to think of things to talk about. So, it's a little bit hard, but it's fun. It really is, and the people seem to like it, particularly the Knots fans. I mean, they're just crazed for it.
How many years was Knots on?
14.
14. That's a long time.
14 seasons, and you have to also realize, during those 14 seasons, there were quite a few years, I should look and see exactly how many, that we did 30 and 35 shows a year.
That never happens today.
No. I mean, it's 6 or 8 is usually their orders these days. Yeah. No, 35, I think there were 2, maybe 3 years that we did 35. So we barely had any time off.
When you run into fans of Knots, what do they usually say to you? Or what do they talk about?
Just, well, you know what is so gratifying for us? I just did an autograph show where a lot of people came in person and stuff like that. They felt the show really impacted their lives in a good way. They identified with the characters, and from my character they got ambition and strength and all that kind of stuff. They got from Karen, Michele, they got steadfastness, and then from Joan they got love and how sweetness, but they talk about how it helped them get through their life at that time. A lot of them were young then, in their teens, and that they'd watch it with their parents. And they have fond memories of being with their parents, who may not be with them anymore, of watching the show. And so they're watching it again. It's playing again on Amazon Prime. It's streaming, finally.
Well, that's what happens when you make that many episodes during a season. They can rerun it for a long time after that.
But they didn't for a long time. Dallas was on, and they did a reboot of Dallas and blah, blah, and with Knots they never did. And the fans were clamoring for it for years. They would always ask us, why can't you get it on? We had nothing to say about it. It wasn't, I didn't own the show. So I'm really glad that it's finally out there and people are enjoying it so much.
What do you think about the show now, in retrospect?
I think it was a darn good show. I really do. Like I said, watching those clips, and I started watching some of the shows because the fans remember the scenes and the shows and the storylines better than I do. There are things like, what about that storyline? I go, I don't even remember we did that. So I started watching things, and like I said, I got hooked on it. It's very, it sucks you in. It gets you interested. I think it was a darn good show, and it holds up because it's about real people. It's not just about the hoi polloi or it's about a cul-de-sac, people who live there. I'm proud that I was part of that show.
I was going to ask that. Are you proud of the work?
Yeah, proud of the work, proud of what it was, and how it seemed to help a lot of people. And that, I can't tell you how many gay guys I get writing me and, telling me, and that it helped them. Now, we never had a storyline about a gay person on the show, but yet it helped them. It helped them get through hard times. They talk about, they were bullied in school, but they felt at home when watching Knots. And it's just amazing to me.
I used to work with a gay guy who never missed an episode. Never missed an episode. I had to be home to see it.
Yeah. That's the way it was, and it really did seem to help them through difficult times. And I mean, what more can you ask from your career that it does that for people?
Is it fun working with Michele and Joan again?
They're both crazy. Yes, it is.
We need examples.
Oh, Oh, God.
Spill the tea.
Oh, God. No, they just, you just never know what either one of them are going to say. And Joan is, all worried about her makeup and her this and her that, and everything. We're doing it just audio now. We're going to go visual in a few weeks. But
Uh-oh.
oh yeah, it's going to be even more difficult. But it's fun. And Michele is funny, and strangely enough, the three of us are funny together. I don't know what it is exactly, but we're funny together.
Shared experience.
I guess. I don't know.
Were there ever plot lines on Knots that you refused to do?
Well, the only plot line that I really complained about, there was a plot line where Joan, Val, had twins, and then they were stolen. They were actually stolen at birth, and she was told they were stillborn. But they were stolen. The doctor stole them. They had originally planned that Abby was going to be the one who stole the babies. And I went to David Jacobs, the producer and creator, and I said, David, I said, if you do that, you might if you don't want me on the show anymore, do that. He said, no, we want you. I said, because the audience won't accept that. And I don't believe it of her, because she's a mother, and she would not do that. There's, all kinds of other things she would do, but not that. And he listened to me. He listened to me and agreed and said, okay, they rewrote it and had it be someone else. It wasn't me. I actually helped find them.
You mentioned earlier that you started on a soap opera. Mm-hmm. So many times I've heard actors say it was really valuable training. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah. I did two. I did The Secret Storm, on which I played Rocket.
That was your name?
That was my name. It's the only name I had. Rocket. I was a nightclub singer, which is really weird because as a dancer, I wasn't a great singer. Anyway, then I did one called Love is a Many Splendored Thing. And that, we put it on the air. It was a new soap, and we put it on the air. And I played a nun in that. But yes.
Sister Rocket.
Yes. Well, what was wonderful for me, I was able to study while I was doing it. I studied with a man by the name of Win Handman in New York. So I would go to class like in the evening, and then during the day I'd be doing the show. So I was able to take what I got from class and apply it right away to a real situation, a real work situation. Because a work situation can be very different than class. So it was a great, wonderful time for me of learning, and I loved that time. It was wonderful.
And on a day-to-day basis, were you doing the soap opera every day, or?
Pretty much, because it turned out to be more about me and my sister. Leslie Charlson played my sister on it than anything else. There were other storylines that didn't seem to go as well and stuff like that. So it was us. So we were on almost every day. Yeah, and it was hard. Not as hard as soaps today, because now they're doing 2 and 3 shows a day. That's just insane. You have no time to rehearse. It's hard.
What about memorizing dialogue?
Yeah, there's that. The actors that do it today do it, all the time. I don't know how they do it. I really don't. They just learn so much. And I did General Hospital, not too long, a couple of years ago, and that was hard, because back when I did them in New York, we had time to rehearse. We'd come in the day before and rehearse in the afternoon, and then, But now, you go there in the morning, and if you can find your scene partner, you're lucky, and run lines. But 9 times out of 10 you can't because they're already up there doing some other scenes. And so you go before the cameras with no rehearsal. They do the camera blocking and the rehearsal, and that's it. That's all you get to do. It's not, I didn't find it very satisfying as an actor because you want to feel like you're really, doing it. You're really, and you don't always feel that way because you don't get to rehearse.
And we'll be right back. How about when you got out here to Los Angeles? Did it turn out to be what you expected it to be?
Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Pretty much. I kind of knew what the business was going to be like, Yeah, and, coming out here, having a movie play Misty for me, then I moved out here right after that. That was a nice way to come. It's funny, I talked to Morgan Fairchild the other day, and she was saying, how hard it was for her. She did soap operas in New York, and then she moved out here. But she just moved out here. She didn't have, like, a movie to come to do,
yeah.
and have that entree. So it's hard. But I was lucky.
Let me ask you, folks, I've been dying to ask her this. Being from Chicago, as you are, we went to the same high school, Taft High School.
That's so wild.
It is wild. Do you have any memories of high school? Were there talent shows? Were you a member of the mixed chorus?
Yes, I was a member of the chorus. I remember there were like variety shows, and I danced. I choreographed and did a solo. I can't even imagine what that was like. Thank God nobody recorded it, I don't think.
You never know.
But yeah, I did a lot, and I also did plays in high school. I don't remember the play or plays that I did, but there were a few. I was in the drama club, of course.
They wouldn't take me.
Oh, no.
No, I'm kidding. Chorus, I had a good time in chorus. You're known for your elegance.
Oh, thank you.
What's the least elegant moment you had on set?
Oh, goodness. Well, probably when it's the famous slap. It's on our gag reel from Knots. Because there was a well-known scene that Joan slapped me. And then we did that, and then every actor that was there that day and all the crew lined up and came through and slapped me, and they just kept the camera running. And I didn't know it was going to happen, but then once it did happen, and I saw everybody and everything, I knew what it was, so I went with it, Bah, bah, bah. It was very, very funny. Oh, you didn't tell me I had a clip in my hair. You're supposed to tell me that.
I thought it was a barrette.
No. Darn.
Okay, well, for the rest of it.
Okay.
One of the things I'd like to ask you about, just because I'm curious, you never married.
Mm-mm.
How come? Is there a particular reason?
I was always so independent. I'm still very independent. I just didn't want to ever be subject to anybody else's, whatever you have to do when you get married. I did, and I also didn't want to say I was going to love somebody forever. I don't know if I would do that or not.
Good for you. Yeah. It's difficult today, I think. I don't think, here's the old man in me, the old fogey in me. I don't think young kids today know or understand what marriage is supposed to be about. It's kind of subjective as well. I just was curious.
Yeah. It's funny because my daughter asked me that. My daughter just got married.
Oh, really?
Yes. And she just had a baby.
You're a grandmother.
Yes.
You don't look like a grandmother.
Thank you. Yes.
Are
As
you
a matter of
enjoying?
fact, she gave me this, and I wear it all the time. Oh, it's backwards. It says Grandma. Because we had a lot of discussion about what he was going to call me. And I said, oh, I know, Glamma.
That sounds perfect.
I know, but she didn't like that. So,
What have you settled on?
well, I say it's up to him. Whatever he wants. Probably Gammy, Grammy. I don't care. I just like to hold him and hug him and kiss him. He's so
How old
cute.
is he?
6 months.
Oh. Well, he has plenty of time to decide what to call
Yes,
you.
yeah. He's
So
not,
be nice now.
Yes, he's not talking yet, so.
What's something about the 1980s TV world that would totally shock actors today?
Shock actors? Well, just the length of time you could have a role. I mean, being able to hone a role for that long. I did it for 9 years. I was on the show for 9 years. That's something you don't get to do very often, you know? There's so much you can learn from a role, give to a role when you have that kind of time. So they don't have that anymore because they don't do that many shows anymore. There's some lovely, lovely actors around today, and I just know it's harder today than it was back then.
Did you regret when it ended?
The show?
Yeah.
I left it before it was over. I left it in season 9.
Are there ever times when you miss it?
No, I didn't then. I mean, I'd love to be able to doing that now. Most people say, you want to do another series? I say, yeah. It's the best way to be an actor. Because you're working all the time. You have a family on the set. You have a group of people that you're with all the time. It's usually nice. I mean, there are times when you can have some difficult times, but usually people are nice. I've found in this business, from actors to crew to producers to directors, everybody, they're the nicest people that I know. The most giving, the most just so good. And I feel privileged to have been in this business.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Did you ever think about writing a memoir?
Yes, my managers tried to get me to do that. I don't want to, because what people most want from that is who you slept with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not telling.
Not even if we ask nice?
No.
Yeah, I read where Barbra Streisand was talking about, her memoir came out not long ago. They wanted her to spill more dirt, more blood. We need blood on the page.
Yeah.
And I could see where that would be a drawback.
Yeah. I mean, I started with a writer at one point, meeting and, talking and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the writer died. But but I've never gone back to. I never really have wanted to do it.
I suppose it's something that you really have to want to do.
Yeah, I don't.
What did fame not prepare you for?
Fame, I guess it didn't. You don't think about kind of the crazies that are going to be out there. I've had a couple of those, stalker.
Like play Misty for me.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but stalker kind of people and stuff like that. that's kind of scary.
And how did you handle that?
Well, one of them was a guy who escaped from prison, and the detectives called me up and they said, "I'd leave town if I were you."
Really?
Yeah, because he was obsessed with me, and they thought most people when they escape from prison try to run away, and they said he's going to come for you. So I did. I left and went to another city and checked into a hotel under an assumed name, and about a week later they caught him, killed him.
Well, that settles that problem.
Yes, yes, indeedy. Yeah, but that was the thing, because he had been trying to sell a story to like the National Enquirer and that he was my boyfriend because he had a picture with me. Because you go to places and
Right.
oh yes, let's take a picture together. And he was claiming to, and actually the National Enquirer, I give him credit for this. They called me up. They said, "This guy is saying he's, your boyfriend." And I said, "We don't believe him." And I said, "Don't believe him. It's ridiculous." So they never printed it. So I give him credit for.
When was this?
This was in the 80s. I think it was while I was doing Knots. Yes, it was. It was while I was doing Knots. Yep.
Was there ever a role that you wish you could have gone out for, or that you wish you had? Do you have any regrets?
No, I mean, I really don't have regrets. I mean, that's because that just seems silly to me. Well, what am I going to regret? If you didn't do it, you didn't do it. That's all. No, I mean, there are roles that I would have loved to have played, but either they weren't in my sphere, because, as a television star, you're not considered for movies, mostly, even though I started out. The strange thing is, too, people say, "Well, playing Misty for me, you must have, that must have done a great deal of good." That was not a successful movie at the time. It's lasted, and it's, still, people still love it. But it was not successful at the time because it was Clint in a role that people really didn't want to see him in. They wanted to see him with a gun in his hand.
Dirty Harry.
Yeah. And that was not that movie, so it wasn't terribly successful. So being in a movie that wasn't that successful was not. If it had been a really, really successful movie, it would have been better for my career. As everything worked out fine, I have no regret about not being a movie star.
How did the stalker die?
They found him underneath a house in Silver Lake, hiding, and they shot him because they were trying to get him. He had come. He was out of prison to go to a trial, and then he escaped from the jail, from the courthouse. I don't know how, but they found him.
Is there anything in your career that you wish you could redo?
No, I don't think so. Because if you redid something, then you don't know how that's going to turn out.
Right.
It might seem like a good idea at the time, and then not. So no, I don't wish for anything to be different.
When you sit, if you do, and reflect on your career, what do you think about? What comes to mind first?
Well, what's coming to mind now is this realization that the biggest thing that I've done, Knots Landing, has had such an impact on people, and that it's mattered in so many people's lives, and that the work that I did some people some good. what more can you ask for in your life than you've done good for other people,
Mm-hmm.
So that's very gratifying to me right now.
And did you enjoy being a mother?
Yes. Well, I'd had career success, everything, and at one point I just said, if I don't have the experience of being a mother, my life's not going to be complete. I want to have that. That's why I adopted Chloe and basically dropped out of the business for 18 years, which was absolutely one of the best times of my life.
How so?
Being a mom, just being a mom.
She was very young when you adopted her, wasn't she? Like 4 days old or something?
4 days old.
4 days old.
Yeah. So it was a whole other world for me, and a world that I loved. I just loved. I was lucky. She's a wonderful child. She always was, and it's really been. And now I have a grandchild, and it's just so wonderful. But had I not had known that, it's funny when she had her baby, because I would always tell her, you're not going to understand how much I love you until you have a child. And she called me up one day. She said, Mom, I understand now. I love him more than anything. And that's what I tell her. I love you more than anything. And she's experiencing it now, too, so it's great.
It must be gratifying to see.
Yeah, it is. It's wonderful.
Do you remember what your very first day was like on the Knots Landing set?
That's a good question. The very first day.
Because you had no idea how long it was going to go or how successful it would be.
No, but what I did realize was this was a big chance for me. Because I'd been playing, the Goody Two Shows, the victims, I'd done a lot of guest shots and with that kind of stuff. And I knew that this role was the role that could make a difference. And so I knew it was, it was an important time. And I don't remember what the first day was like, though. But I do remember David Jacobs telling me, no one's going to want to sit with you at lunch. Because they'll all be jealous of you, because, bring on this new, kind of vixen kind of character is going to be hard for them.
Do you feel like nighttime soaps have given women a new kind of power?
Yeah, I do. I did shows before. I did a pilot, couple of pilots, where I played a policewoman or a detective or something like that, and they didn't sell. And one of the reasons was because it was a woman lead, because though in those days it was tough to get a lead as a woman. So I think, this role changed that a lot for me, and changed it for everybody. Then it started, now it can be anybody. It can be a woman who's the lead in a show. It didn't used to be that way.
Is there a genre you would like to explore that you haven't so far?
I want to do a costume drama so bad.
Like The Gilded Age or something?
Yes, yeah, something like that.
How come?
I just love costumes. I do. Whenever there's a costume drama on, I watch it. I just love it. Yeah.
Do you ever take yourself to the movies?
Take myself to the movies?
Well, do you ever go to the movies?
Oh, yeah. I like to go to the movies.
Do you?
There's not much out there to see these days.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
I shouldn't say this, but I'm really glad that movies are available now on television, so it's not such a production. I don't have to get up and get dressed and find somebody.
You're not
and go
the kind
out.
of person we want. For,
No. I know, and movies are made to be seen on a big screen.
Yeah, most of them. A lot of them, anyway. Well, the ones that are out there now are the big, Superman and
I just watched at home on TV the new Jurassic Park.
Oh, I saw it. I went to the theater to see it.
Oh, how did you like it?
I liked it.
Oh,
and
did
I
you?
don't generally like those kind of movies. I liked it because there were interesting characters, people in it, not just the dinosaurs and stuff like that. I was interested in the characters.
The special effects are incredible.
Yeah, but you didn't like the movie?
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't wild about it, but I kind of thought maybe if you saw it on a big screen rather than on your television set, sitting in bed,
Yeah.
it would have made a difference.
I think that does make a difference because it's they're so overwhelming the animals and stuff like that when you see it.
Right.
But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised at that you had characters that you could care about. That was nice.
Do you watch the awards shows when they come on?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
And do you root for favorite shows?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Usually I've seen most everything that, is out there. I mean, I used to, I hosted the Golden Globes one year. So, that's, it's
At the Beverly Hilton? Mm-hmm. It was always at the Beverly Hilton?
It's always at the Beverly Hilton, yep.
For as long as I can remember.
Yep.
What do you think made Abby Ewing such a deliciously unforgettable villain?
I think because she was a well-rounded character. She wasn't a caricature. She wasn't just a villain. We had some really good writers on the show, and they managed to give her heart. She wasn't just a bad guy. She wasn't just somebody who was going to steal the husband. She had feelings too. What I loved about her and her feelings, though, she never let anybody else see them. You'd see her in a room alone crying or upset or whatever, never in front of anybody else. But they gave her that, and she was a mom. That made her much more human and much more relatable. Even though she was the vixen, she was the villain and everything like that, first and foremost, she was a mom.
What if they did a reboot? Would you participate in something like that if you were interested?
You betcha.
Oh, really?
Oh, God, yes. Yes. I had the idea, okay, let's go back. You go back and Abby's homeless. Let's watch her claw her way back.
That would take some of the glamour out of the role.
Yeah. But do it in a way really was you would watch her climb her way back up, trying, this way and that way and doing and being clever. It could have happened for any number of reasons, and yeah. I mean, I think it'd be interesting. I don't think anybody else does, but
What work are you proudest of? Is it Knots Landing?
Probably because, like I said, I had 9 years to hone the character. I really felt the character was complete. And you don't always get that, if you're doing a show that, is only an hour long or 2 hours long.
A week at a time.
Yeah, right. You don't always get to complete the character, And this with her, I did.
You wanted to be a ballerina at some point. Do you ever dance today? At home with the stereo on or something?
Not generally. I mean, if we go out or someplace to dance, I'll go, or a wedding or something like that where they have dancing. Yeah. I mean, I still love to dance. But there's, we used to go like night clubbing, you know, particularly in New York. There was places you could go and dance and stuff
Not
like
here.
that.
There's not much in the way of night clubbing here in
No.
Los Angeles.
No.
Is there anybody in particular that you could, if you could work with them, that you would like to?
Oh God, there's so many that I'd like to work with. You know, I'd love to work with Meryl Streep. She's like an idol of mine, and it would just be such a thrill. Yeah, but there are many actors that I would love to work with.
How about men?
Denzel Washington. I love him. I think he's a wonderful actor.
Yeah, he's just about the best there is.
Yeah. Gosh, they're you know, they're just like, I'd like to work with Tom Cruise, you know, just to see if I've only met him once, and he was so nice that I'd like to work with him too.
He has the charm factor going.
Oh yeah.
Big time.
Yep.
If you should come on the screen at home, television, would you sit and watch yourself?
Yes.
Apart from the phone with a little screen.
Right. Yeah. Yes. I mean, I generally.
Would you be hypercritical?
Yes. Yeah. I don't like to watch myself with anyone else. You know, I watch with my guy or with my daughter. But here's the strange thing: my daughter has never seen Knots Landing. Never. She's seen very little that I've ever done, and she's 30 now. And people ask her, they say, well, why don't? She said, "It's my mom. I don't want to see her any other way." She has no curiosity about what I've done.
Does she work?
She does. She modeled for quite a while, and then she does event planning now.
Ooh, that's a tough job.
It's tough. She's very good at it, though.
There's a lot of people you have to please. There always is.
She's very good at it. She's very organized. You know, she can find things that you go, how did she do that? So
you have to have a Rolodex full of good vendors.
Yeah, I think someday she'd like to have her own events company. I mean, hopefully she will. Yeah.
Did you model, Abby, after anybody in real life that you'd met?
No, I mean, because when I first started on the show, you know, the character evolved. I mean, she started out kind of simple. You know, they always had these things in mind for her, but at first she came and she worked in Sid's used car place as the bookkeeper, I think. You know, and they never told told us where the characters were going. We kind of vaguely knew, but not very much. So, no, I mean, I just kind of took it as it came and kept molding her, you know.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything your fans would be shocked to learn about you?
I don't know. Shocked.
Maybe shock's too hard. Or
maybe that
surprised.
I don't take my mascara off at night.
Is that true?
Yes. My daughter's like aghast at that. She's like, "You don't take your eye makeup off." I said, "No, I don't."
Why is that? You never know when a photographer's going to turn up.
Oh, no, but then you have to put it all on again the next day. You just leave it, you know, usually stays there. Sometimes, if I can do it, if I have false eyelashes that I put on, I leave those on overnight too.
Really?
Yeah. That's really not a good idea, but I do it sometimes.
We just lost Lonnie Anderson recently.
Yes.
Were you too close? Did you know Lonnie well?
Lonnie and I did a movie together about a year ago. Yeah, called Ladies of the 80s, A Diva's Christmas, for Lifetime. Lonnie was, and I'd really never known her back in the 80s, and that I didn't know her well. I knew who she was. We probably met at an event here and there, but we didn't really know each other. But we did this movie together. And she had had breast cancer before, but she was we all thought she was okay, and, she was on the mend, and she was going to be okay. She was so lovely and so sweet and so brave, because she wasn't, she was still a little frail, but she did a great job in the movie. So it was really hard to. I knew she'd been ill, but I thought she was better, and she wasn't. I'm so sorry to lose her.
What do you want your legacy to be?
Good grief. You ask the hard questions, don't you? My legacy, jeez. I don't really know. I have to think about that more.
Okay.
I mean, my child, my grandchildren, that's what it's all for.
Yep. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it, Donna.
Sure.
And for the Taft Eagles.
Yes, indeed.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Still Here Hollywood is a production of the Still Here Network. All things technical run by Justin Zangerly. Theme music by Brian Sanishin. And executive producer is Jim Lichtenstein.